We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Pretty good, actually.
What's going on with Mason? Jakora Cross
will be almost as good. Knicks, Sixers, good watch. Every game, good watch. It's over. Knicks win in 6 after winning in Pennsylvania last night. Final score, 118-115. New York wins in Philly, eliminates the 76ers. Exciting, back and forth, physical, good basketball every night. Now on to the next. Good morning to you, and happy Friday before Cinco. El 3 de Mayo. Yep, that's right. Opening drive. Jeff Sabieta, JJ Buck, how you living?
What it do?
Happy 3rd of May. Tomorrow.
May the 4th almost be with you.
Almost. Tomorrow it will be. Yeah, it's like a big, you get May Day, then the 4th be with you, then Cinco, and then it's the 6th.
What a party.
I know. And it's all on the weekend. Be careful, boys and girls, and take a ride on us. There's a magic code for the Uber if you'd like it. We're running that all day. Knicks and Sixers was good, dude. It was a good watch every night. It was exciting, back and forth. A lot of bingos and dunks, and came right down to it. Jalen Brunson's really good. Josh Hart was terrific when it mattered. So was Dante DiVincenzo, and the Knicks move on. Knicks, look, man, with the Porzingis injury, and who knows, Knicks are viable to come out of the East.
They are. When you have a player like Jalen Brunson that is playing at a higher level than anyone right now in the postseason when it comes to being the focal point of a team's offense, the way that he's scoring the basketball, it's been unbelievable. And the Knicks just have an edge to them. They were better last night in the clutch situation. Josh Hart, the guy that it's like, all right, if we end up leaving someone open, let's let it be Josh Hart to take that shot. He was money at the end. And I still think that even without Kristaps Porzingis, the Celtics would be my favorite. But this is going to be a fascinating series going in because the Pacers are all gas, no breaks. There's games where they go out there, score 140 points. So then there's games where they score 9. And the Knicks are going to make it incredibly difficult on the Indiana Pacers, but it's setting up for Boston, New York, Eastern Conference Finals.
Pacers won last night 120-98 in Indiana. They beat the Bucks, eliminate them in 6 games. TJ McConnell, former Arizona guard, came off the bench, 20 points, 9 assists. Obi Toppin, the former Knick, had 21 off the bench. Those two guys gave them 41 points off the bench, and the Pacers look good, so that's what's up next. I was impressed with the Knicks, and you mentioned Josh Hart, and they let him take the shot, and it looked like he wanted to pass first. He wanted to swing at the big shot.
He did want to pass it first.
And it was just so wide open that he hits the big 3 that ends up being the difference last night. But he gets 14 rebounds to go with his 16 points and 7 assists, and he's just solid, and he's there when it matters. The Knicks have pieces, man, and when they made the trade for Anunoby early in the season, I thought it was a difference maker. He's been steady. Hartenstein gives them a presence down low and just gets rebound. It feels like big rebounds to me. And is he going to score a bunch? I mean, enough. Everyone in their starting lineup was in double figures yesterday. Brunson had 41 and DiVincenzo had 23, but and Anunoby had 19. But everybody in their starting lineup scored. Now, are they deep enough? Let's see what happens when you go. They were deep enough in this series.
No one gets hurt, they're fine.
If no one gets hurt.
Because a depth is, if someone gets hurt, of course you raise that question. Oh, where's the players? It's the most overrated thing in basketball. Because if you have your dudes, you're playing them.
Well, it depends who gets hurt, right? I mean,
if your stars are going down, you're
right.
There's not a lot you can do.
Right.
Same thing at the quarterback position in football. Like there's only so much you can be prepared for. And Tom Thibodeau, the Knicks head coach, was joking after the game last night, was like, Yeah, Josh Hart, he was never coming out of the game. Dude played 46 minutes.
Yep.
They had
But DiVincenzo
Mitchell
played
Robinson
48.
play 18 minutes. Now, it was a closeout game, so I think part of that, too, was Thibodeau being tighter in the rotations. But it's one that you look at these teams, there's not, like, unless someone gets hurt, like, depth is the most overrated thing in basketball.
Yeah, they don't go super deep. Nobody does. Maybe, Indianapolis.
Like the Pacers last
yeah.
night, but still you look at the games, other games, McConnell's playing 10 minutes.
Yeah, but he got 23 last night because he was playing really well, and Toppin got 24 last night. So they go a lot deeper. But to your point on who gets hurt, if it's your stars, if it happens to be Giannis Antetokounmpo and Dame Lillard, then you're not going to win a series. If it's Kawhi Leonard, you're going to struggle to win a series. Who is it? If Jalen Brunson gets hurt, yeah, they're in trouble, right? If Josh Hart gets hurt, they're in trouble. Now, Kristaps Porzingis is hurt, but they still got Tatum, Brown, White. I mean, right? That's all. Again, they're deep, but they're deep at really, really good as Boston. So I agree with you on the is it overrated? I mean, as long as nobody gets hurt, it's not overrated. If someone gets hurt, who's stepping up and winning for you?
Yeah, but that's not breaking any news if we're talking about star players getting hurt. Like, you're not going to, especially in the postseason, a 7-game series, you're not going to be able to have enough depth to overcome that at all.
Depending on how
Anytime
long he's
if
out.
it's a star player that's missing multiple games. And it's just the thing with the Knicks. It's that Villanova connection that is deep, and they buy into it. And Jalen Brunson, there's been a video that goes around, and when the Knicks traded for Josh Hart, like, he lost his mind. He was stoked. He was outrageous. And that's one of those trades that you're just like, all right, whatever. And it's been probably one of the biggest acquisitions the Knicks have made outside of Jalen Brunson in the last 10 years.
What did they get? What did they give up? Because he was a late first round pick of Utah back in 2017, and he's been a good player in the NBA. Like, he's been a good player. I don't think anybody thought he was a star, but he's been a good, solid NBA player. What did they give up? Because when they got Anunoby, I thought it was really good. You look at them; they got three guys from Villanova. And by the way, where's Villanova? It's in Philadelphia. Where did they win last night? In Philadelphia. That was lost on nobody last night.
Jalen Brunson pointed out the banners.
Yeah.
National championship banners.
Yeah, in that building.
He won one.
Yeah. The Villanova connection was real. Their front office has done a nice job. Look, that's been a process. We talk about Philadelphia in the process because, well, they called it the process because that's really where the process started. It was an 8-year process to get to a point where they're good, but they lose in the first round again. We got a whole nother set of issues with Philadelphia and Joel Embiid and what do they do and how good are they and what do they do moving forward. Joel Embiid's going to be fine when he's fine. He's hurt. He's beat up. I give him a ton of credit. Out there playing, he was broken. I mean, Bell's palsy, bad knee, migraine headaches. He went out and had 39 points, 13 rebounds in 40 minutes last night on limping up and down the court. Like, I'll give him – the dude played hurt. He's hurt, seems like all the time, but he played hurt and he played well. And if he got a little bit more consistent help, Tyrese Maxey wasn't the same dude last night that he was in Game 5 in New York. He was 6 of 18 last night. Yeah, he had 17 points, but he wasn't the same consistent dude last night. It
wasn't, Matt. It was the fact you have Tobias Harris making $180 million.
0 points. Zero.
Not scoring a basket.
Zero. Yeah.
That's Philadelphia's happy that they're moving on from Tobias Harris finally.
Kyle Lowry,
contract
0. You got 2 guys in your starting lineup with 0 points. You can't. And I look at the other guys. Oh, every one of their starters scored in double figures. The lowest score was 14 points. It's just the Knicks are better right now than Philly. What does Philly do?
Philly's in a great spot
Because they're going
to have some of the most cap room in the NBA. I think Joel Embiid proved that you ride it out the next few years with him. I know that there's been a lot of people saying, hey, the process is done. It's time to trade Joel Embiid. Well, you have a core duo, and that's Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. That's what you have to have in the NBA. You have cap space opening up to where you could attack maybe another star if you wanted to.
Does Paul George fit there?
Paul George, Pascal Siakam, someone along
Siakam absolutely fits
those lines. You mentioned, well, they had, Lowry and Harris were just duds in the starting lineup. Kyle Lowry was he's just the veteran they had. He only played 13 minutes anyway last night. But then you look at, Buddy Hield, who's a free agent. He had 20 points off the bench. Like, those are the players.
Feels like he gone.
Yeah, because he's going to get paid. But those are the players you have to find a way to put on your team to be successful. And because it's still about development, that's the Knicks, the pieces fit. It's not just about, let's throw a bunch of stars out there and get it done. The pieces fit. You mentioned, Josh Hart does the dirty work. The dude had 7 assists. Hartenstein. And you still need to balance it out. And I remember when they signed Jalen Brunson, and all people wanted to scream was he was overpaid. What a bad signing it was for the New York Knicks.
Hartenstein. Is he a foreign player? 7 feet. He was a late second round pick by Houston in 2017. I don't know where did you play college ball somewhere?
Isaiah Hartenstein.
7 feet and does dirty work. See, that's the thing. I'm not calling them a championship team yet. But I know of championship teams is you get a couple of dudes who do the dirty work. And him and Josh Hart do and Anunoby for that matter, do the dirty work.
Well, and you look at the Josh Hart trade, they gave up a first round pick in it, but it was absolutely worth it because it was a late first round pick for the New York Knicks. And they've done a really good job. You brought it up about there's not homegrown stuff on the Knicks, but they were able to build their roster in a way where they didn't handcuff themselves overpaying a bunch of players. They saw something in Jalen Brunson when he exploded beside Luka Doncic. They believed he could be a lead guard. He has that attitude. He has been that and more. And get his Villanova buddies, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah. All right, we got a ton to do today, man. It's Friday. We'll get into the other game. What's coming up next? Phone numbers to get in, 505-246-0610. Area code 505-246-0610. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimalaBQ.com, JJ at sportsanimalaBQ.com. We're on the Twitter, where JJ is, _JJ Buck. Facebook, the OD in the AM. You can watch the show. Adrian's producing there. It's also on Comcast Channel 26 across the state of New Mexico and on the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. We're going to talk with Nick Nee at 8:30, get you a golf tip, improve your game, and get into the big news that Tiger Woods made yesterday. 9 o'clock, kick it with Kenny. The former Lobo great Kenny Thomas will be with us, and we'll let him dissect the NBA playoffs thus far and his thoughts on the closing of the transfer portal. When we come back, Richard Pitino spoke yesterday to the Albuquerque Journal about the portal closing, what he said, how you feel about what he said, and we talked about going forward now that it's closed. It's the opening drive. Glad you're with us on a Friday on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Hour.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad and my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together
Pull together
Pull together.
to make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet.
Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
have a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
I guess that's the modern way. I guess you had to say something, right? That's the way to say it. Instead of putting out a release, it gets more love on the Twixer.
Well, yeah, it's nice of him not to go LOL at one of the players or say, "Where's your son?"
Yeah, what's your son doing? My son's all over national TV celebrating
superstar.
and
What's
dancing.
yours doing?
My kid beat Jeff Grammer in picking NCAA tournament brackets. What's your kid doing? Yeah, he could have said all that. Yeah, my kid's all over CBS Sports, jumping
And
around. And what's your kid doing? So your kid's gonna be a fifth,
Picking his nose.
top 5 pick. Yeah, your kid's picking his nose, probably eating it. My kid's all over TV. Yeah, what he could have said. That's fair enough. He spoke to Jeff Grammer of the Journal, did Pitino. And he said that, JT was the one, and he said concerned isn't the right word, but I think we knew there was a possibility that he could leave. He continued, he said, and when he did leave, he just didn't know what would be next, because what happens is when somebody leaves, then it gives opportunities for other people to call all your guys and say, oh, they're not going to be good anymore. Every school's dealing with it. There's just so many rumors, and you're pretty helpless. You try to communicate with your players the best you can. Richard Pitino. What he's saying is, Wednesday, it came out Wednesday morning. That's where, right when I was in Arizona, right? JJ, I had heard Tuesday night he was gone. They had the spring meetings in Arizona on Monday, basketball coaches, and there was a reception that night. Richard went back because from what I understand, he knew stuff was happening, and want to make sure, take care of what he had to take care of. But I don't.
They might need to start adjusting these meetings around the transfer portal schedule.
Well, probably. It's dude. Every coach, especially every football
you
coach.
You think you just hang out, chill with your buddies, enjoy, maybe get on the golf course? Nope.
Every football coach that I saw, and I saw a lot of them on what night was it? Tuesday. Tuesday was the day that the football portal closed. Man, they were all looking at their phone. And again, I'm not going to give you a bunch of names, but I was in a number of conversations. Guys stared at their phones. Okay. Oh, I got to take. Dude, the portal's closing in 4 hours. I got to go take. And see him go off the portal, and he was there 10 minutes later, right? And I mean, it happened numerous times. So you might be right about that. But the problem could have been word gets that JT Toppin's out. And now people are calling, pick your guy, Dent, True, whoever you want, and saying, hey, dude, Toppin's gone. They're not going to be good anymore. Come on over. Look what we're putting together. We got, right? And so to Richard's point, he says, shout out to those guys. And he's not wrong. He continued, and this is in the Journal this morning, Pitino talking to Jeff Grammer, quote, a lot of the outside communication that's going through these guys is not through them. It's through high school coaches. It's through AAU coaches. Now they have agents. So, yeah, all the things I said after the season about they can all walk in and leave is a real possibility. So when I tweeted that out, I truly believe like all of those guys were recruited in some fashion by somebody to leave here, and all of them had to make a decision to say, I want to stay here. And I do believe they should be committed. I don't have a problem. I don't think he's wrong. In fact, I think he's right, and the messaging is right. Now, how much recruiting is UNM doing off of somebody else's roster? If
that was going to be
no, that's right. If everybody's
question.
doing it, are you the only one who's not? I mean, right? How much are you looking at a guy somewhere else that you want, or maybe not you, but your people with their people, and
to let someone know, like, hey, here's some guys we'd like to get a feeling on what they're thinking.
Right. Is that guy, hey, he'd be a great piece here, get a word to his guy, to get a word to him, I mean, it's a game of telephone, probably. I got my guy calling his guy, talking to his guy, talking to him, who's sending word back through the same channel. How much they got? How much you got? How much they got? How much you got? Oh, I got this.
What was it? The story we were talking about the other day. Was it Providence? Was it some Big East coach?
Oh yeah, it was. Who flat out said, "Stop calling those guys. Call me straight up." I want to say it might have been Providence's coach. Yeah, Kim. Yeah, it was the guy
Kim
Providence.
English?
Yeah, Kim English. It was who put out a tweet the other day. Stop calling my guys. Call me. Call me directly.
And
I'll tell you.
Even with
for you.
the collectives involved, you wonder if that would still be a better thing. It's just to have not to try to pretend like it's not going on. And just to be able to have open communication.
I'll tell you what I think would be better. I think if there were actually penalties for contacting a dude that's on a roster. And I know, I mean, I don't know. Don't you think if you're on a roster, you're on a roster. If you want to go in the portal, then you can get contact. And then it comes down to what is a coach's theory or protocol on a guy on his team who goes into the portal. Now, Bronco Mendenhall told us, typically, he let some leeway now because it was a new coach, but if a guy goes in the portal, Danny Gonzalez was the same way. You go in the portal, fine, go. You're not coming back. You don't want to be. Right? Basketball seems to be more lenient. Was it, who went in the portal and came back? It was Braden Apple.
Well, I think part of that was they had a player that was going to play his position that was like, nope, I'm going to Wisconsin. So it's like, all right, you can come back.
So you think that's what it was, simply because that's
yeah, look how quickly that happened.
But he's still going to probably recruit that position, don't you? He's got 2 spots open right now.
It doesn't sound like Braden wanted to leave at all.
No, I don't think he did either. And it probably felt like he got recruited over and saw the writing on the wall. But he went in the portal and Richard let him back, right? And I don't know if every coach has that same philosophy, protocol, rule, whatever.
Probably changing a little bit now.
Is it different in basketball than football, you think?
I think it's player dependent too.
So should that be the way that it goes then? Hey, go in and I don't know, man. There's going to be coaches that say, look, man, you don't want to be here, go. I don't care who you are. Others are going to be, you can go and never come back. Well, if you want to come back, there's always a spot, right?
Well, it's
you don't treat all your kids the same way.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
And they know that, and any college athletes have been there, done that.
Right.
Still understands that part of it. I'm almost thinking like when you hear the legal tampering period, like I think
in the NBA or in NFL.
Yeah, it's like even if you're on a roster, I still think ultimately like coaches just want to know what's going on, and instead of hearing it from this or that, because when you start saying, "Oh, there's got to be penalties for tampering," man,
so it should be just wide open. You're on a roster.
It already is wide open. You can't, and the NCAA cannot do this.
So there's
no way to police.
I've invested in you, and you're going to school theoretically, but yet it's okay that you can talk to everybody in America about leaving, and I'm not supposed to know what's going on. And then you just come in my office one day and said, "See,
well, you should know what's going on." That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, to your point, I don't know
because you can keep saying you put windows on it, and the only thing it's kind of similar to NIL, right? It's just bring it into the light.
Now it's legal. 505-246-0610. You heard what your head coach said. You feel better about it. I think it's a good message. It was the right message. It was the right time. Richard's really good with this kind of stuff, and I think it's right. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610 if you're still paying an email or if you're still paying a toll. I want to hear your thoughts on this. We got the Derby this weekend. I know it's your favorite event. You can get in on the Derby as well. When we come back, Pacers last night eliminate the Bucks. Doc Rivers goes out again. Is it his fault? It's not. But he's got to wear it. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light and shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
All right, let's go. 505-246-0610. Who'd you tell me is on one? I know you told me that twice. That was Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, opening drive. Richard Patino put out a text yesterday complimenting the guys who stayed. I think it's the right thing. And they should be for sticking together. They lose one piece, and that could have been like Jenga, dude. You know what I mean? That one piece comes out. Well, if Toppin's not here, I don't know if I want to be here. We're gonna. And Richard, to Richard's credit, keeping that thing together and saying, no, we're fine. Look what we got coming in. We're going to be okay. You guys stay here. And I'm sure the collective played a big part in it as well.
But yeah, this is the positive messaging is important, especially on social media with the way fan bases react, what happens with the transfer portal. When your head coach is sending the right message, it matters.
Chad, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, Chad?
Hey, guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to a shout out to Coach Patino, because we are so lucky to have a coach that can connect with players, someone who can build relationships with his players and has open communication. Because, you know, I can think of so many coaches out there that are just X's and O guys, but, you know, rely on their assistants maybe to build the relationships and are losing players left and right. So kudos to him, because what you need right now as a head coach is, in lieu of all the obstacles against you, is still a culture. You still have to build a culture, connect with your players, and you can tell he does that. So, you know, that's why we had such success in keeping a lot of these players. JT Toppin, you know, we were all kind of waiting to see what was going to happen. I was like, oh, we have 2 more days. Come on. And then, of course, you know, I heard the news. But, you know, we also picked up some really good prospects for next year that can have good size, and I think we're in a really good place, you know, despite all that's out there. And one final thing, I don't think you can police the tampering. It's impossible. The new way of doing this is guys that can build relationships. You have to do what you can to connect and have those abilities. You can't do much about the tampering. I don't care how much you put in place. It's so hard to prove. There's always going to be people behind the scenes. It's been going on like that the last 40 years. Back to remember the Pony Express with SMU. Yep. Charles Barkley's talked about getting paid behind the scenes. You know, it's always going to be there. You just got to connect with your players as best you can, and I think he's done a great job. So I'm proud to have him as a coach.
I think it's a great call, Chad. Thank you for that. Look, a couple of things. I think he's really right that you're lucky to have Richard here. Richard's got, and I've told you, you can question X's and O's or praise X's and O's, whatever you want. I've told you this so many times. I really believe in his demeanor and how he handles things. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. I think he hasn't got caught up in some of the noise. I'm certain there's been times where he's been frustrated by some of the noise and some of what's going on. I think that's just part of being a public figure, be a public figure in sports these days. But I agree with what that caller just said in regards to, yeah, you're really lucky to have him here. As far as the tampering and where we are, and like, man, I think there's got to be some. Everybody can't just be free reign, man. You're on somebody's roster. But I guess that's just not the way it is anymore. You know, what you guys are telling me is, hey, you know, everybody's free, and I'm going to call, and I want you, and I could throw money at you, and even if you're on somebody's roster, I'm going to come get you. Don, you want to talk about this little horse race coming up tomorrow? Good morning, Don.
Morning. How you doing, Jeff?
Good. How you living?
Living large, right?
Beautiful.
Hey, no, I just want to see what everybody was liking out there. I think I liked that Forever Young, but I didn't know if people had heard. You're not going to be able to wager on the race at the Downs.
That's correct.
Yeah.
You like Forever, so you like it's that's the Japanese jockey and trainer, right?
Yeah,
Forever
correct.
Young. Yeah. No, it's like people are saying it's the best colt that Japan has sent to the Derby maybe ever.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be what Travel does. I know a lot of people like Forever Young. I'm not on Forever Young, but I appreciate that you are. 10-1 is I think is what he's going off at.
They had him at 7-1 this morning.
All right, 7-1, so it went down. People
they're betting them down. Yeah, they're betting them down. So I just want to see what everybody was thinking out there.
Yeah, I'm leaning Catching Freedom right now, a little bit. Won the Louisiana Derby, kind of leaning that way, but I'm not home yet.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate it, Jeff. Have a good one.
See you, Don. No wagering at the Downs. There's and again there's some conflict between the Kentucky Breeders. I don't know exactly what the acronym is, and New Mexico Racing Commission. I think you can bet at the casinos, I think, assuming MGM bets, and I would guess they do down at Isleta, you can bet the Derby down there. Now you can go and watch it. They're going to have a big party out at the Downs. Part of it is going over to the window and making a bet. You ever bet a horse race? Have you ever gone to the window and bet a horse race?
I have not.
It's pretty fun. And you go down, and then you got a ticket in your hand. And Audrey had never done that. We were at Del Mar, probably 6-7 years ago. It was Del Mar. They had racing, and we saw Ziggy Marley the same night. And so we caught the last 2 races, and it was kind of fun. She'd never done it. What do you say to the guy? Because you got the people like you or her who have never bet or that don't know how to even say what they're saying, and then you got the guys that are
horse lingo.
And then there's those guys who are reading their racing sheets. And they live at the damn track, and they're like, "Come on, let's go! Get out of the way! You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a good time. Who do I got here? All right, you want me to take a break? 505-246-0610. Come back, keep them coming. You want to get in on what Richard Pitino had to say? You can get in on the Derby. Nick Nee's going to join us at 8:30. We got big golf news yesterday. Kind of big, I think. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Hour.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! This place is hot! Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Acting shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
When students just had to shell out for increased fees, when you have the tenured college professor struggling to get by on $150,000 per year, then you have an average player walking in the classroom clearing $250. When do professors start to cry athletes should be under the same salary table as employees? I mean, they can cry all they want.
When they become employees?
Yeah, they're not employees. Soon they will be employees.
And work on your jumper. Get in the gym.
It's your chosen line of profession, yeah. I mean, so what do you think is going to happen then? Is the professor then going to be harder on the student athlete? Maybe he will. I don't know. But yeah, dude, athlete's going to walk in there making. You know what happens, by the way? The coach walks into his boss's office, and the coach is making more than his boss. Doesn't that happen all the time?
Yeah, I think Kirby Smart might be making more than anyone in the state of Georgia at this point in time.
Well, I mean, Richard Pitino's making more than Eddie Nunez. Bronco Mendenhall's making more than Eddie Nunez, and Eddie's their boss, right? They're both making more than the president. The president's their boss's boss, right? I mean, look, college athletics is a different world. Now, most of your work environments, the bosses are making more than the employee. I certainly here, our bosses are making more than we are, right? And I'm going to guess that their bosses are making more than them. Athletics is a different world, man. It just is. The head coach of an NFL team is well compensated. He's the quarterback's boss, and the quarterback's making 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times more than he is. Let's say Andy Reid's making, I don't know, what's Andy Reid making, $8 million a year? Let's just say that. Patrick Mahomes is making $50+ million a year. Andy Reid's his boss. So Garcia, look, man, athletics is a different world. And to compare it to your job, my job, to college professor, yeah, is it imperfect? I imagine. Just the way it is. Travis, good morning. You're on The Sports Animal. How you living?
Good morning, fella.
What up?
Yeah, listen, the rap on these athletes before, 15, 20 years ago was how entitled they are around college campuses. And that was before they were getting paid over the table, right? They were probably getting paid under the table. But now they're getting paid over the table. How entitled do you think they're going to be now? You have a college athlete walking in there, JT Toppin making $500,000-$600,000. Yeah. Scrubby little, assistant professor, a little TA, making a couple of grand a semester. Yeah. Good luck.
That works.
Good luck. Yeah. But look, I gotta respond to this. I've heard this over the last couple of days, and this argument about this tampering thing. And I agree with a lot of what Chad said about how lucky we are to have Coach Pitino and how this is a relationship-driven business now. And I think it's really important to have that these coaches have these relationships with these players, in order to try to keep them to stay in the new NIL world that we're living in. But, the argument that you keep hearing over and over and over again about policing tampering is that, you can't stop people from doing it. So there's just no reason to police it. There is not another context in society where that kind of logic makes any sense. Right? Like, well, you can't stop people from speeding, so why make it illegal? Right? You can't stop people from breaking into your home and stealing all your stuff unless you have New Mexico Protective Services. Why make burglary a crime? Right? And in the sports context, it's like, well, you can't stop athletes from taking performance-enhancing drugs, so why ban them? Right? Why test them? That argument that you just can't stop something, so there's no reason to police it, it's just a bad argument. It doesn't make any sense. And for all of those people saying that with respect to tampering, they need to explain what's happening with the NBA and the NFL.
In what regard?
Those organizations have been able to investigate professional athletes who are playing the sport at the highest level for tampering. And those players and those organizations have been caught up over the years for tampering. So and the difference here is NBA athletes have tons of layers of protection between them and the teams, and they still get caught for tampering.
Let me give you the difference.
Right? They have tons of fall guys.
There's 30
and
NBA
you're saying that college athletes don't have fall guys?
Yeah.
Like that it would be somehow easier to investigate NBA athletes.
It is. Okay, let me give you a couple of reasons why. A, you got 30 teams as opposed to 355 Division I teams. You've got an NBA that's got damn near unlimited resources to go out and do it. Where who's investigating? Is it the NCAA? I mean, the NCAA has lost its teeth. Like I Travis, I'm on your side.
They just don't have enough people to do it if you're doing basketball and then in football and then you're looking at other sports with tampering.
I'm on your side. I wish they could do it. I think that when a guy, an athlete, doesn't have to be a guy, when an athlete is under scholarship at a university, that there's a commitment from both sides. The university is investing in them and they should invest in the university. And whilst they are under that agreement, I don't believe that somebody else should be able to come poach them. Now, I might be old school, I might be wrong, and I understand that's not what's happening. And I wish there was a way to police it. And Travis, I'm with you, man. There should be a way. But 30 teams to 355, an NBA that's a recognized overseeing body that's got teeth that can actually penalize you, as opposed to an NCAA that's losing its teeth, plus you've got them with football, basketball, and everything else. Man, it sounds like it should be easy, but I don't see it being.
Well, can I ask you this? Like, the thing about, like, there are probably only in college athletics, right? There are probably the number of college athletes, the number that are signature marquee players is much smaller than that. You would agree with that, right? There's all these athletes, but there are only, there's a smaller number of that are really marquee major pieces. And I guess what I would say is, even in the NBA context, they only investigate when the allegations of tampering arise. And so it would not be incumbent on the NCAA to investigate every single transfer. Yep. I'm just saying the idea that because there's a practicality part to this, that we wouldn't even investigate the potential. We wouldn't even try to figure out a system where we might investigate tampering. Is absurd to me. Like, surely there's a framework where that could work, but I recognize the impracticality part that you guys just explained.
Yeah, we can't do it. Just go. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Look, you're right. Yeah, no, we can't stop.
Well, it's going to be on. It's also incumbent.
Travis,
on the
thanks for the call, man.
Are they going to want to tell on each other?
No, because they are.
What push do they want to have for what this structure looks like moving forward? I think, to your point, much like the transfer portal opens and closes, there should be then a contact window that opens and closes.
Yeah.
Bring it above board, and so everyone's on the same page. And then along those lines, if you get upset that someone's reaching out to your player in the middle of the season, then step up and speak out about it.
Okay. And then you better not be doing it. To his point, man, the answer can't be, well, it's happening, it's against the rules, but there's nothing we can do about it. That can't be the answer. Because he's right. Well, yeah, they're breaking into homes, but nothing we can do about it. It's the same concept. Different, but same. If that, I don't even, is there a rule against tampering right now? Are you allowed to, can I call UCLA and try to poach their starting point?
At this point, the problem is there's no governing body. And when you have the NCAA trying to govern everything, we've seen what has happened.
All right, 505-246-0610. So if someone calls and tries to poach me right now, we're good?
It's all fair.
As long as I'm not making more than my boss, right? Just want to make sure I understand. Keep them coming, 505-246-0610. Hey, what's next for the Bucks? Giannis, Dame Lillard. That was the team that was supposed to challenge. They're out in the first round. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Channel.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
and see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet.
Things. One, it would see the NCAA pay roughly $2.8 or $2.9 million in back damage. Number two, it would establish a framework for schools to share revenue with athletes. And number three, it would implement roster limits and scholarship expansion. All right, so the damages. And JJ, we're going to throw numbers around that are mind-numbing, but they're real. $2.9 million in back damages. So the NCAA would pay that back over 10 years to college athletes who say they were illegally prevented from making NIL money. That money is expected to come from the NCAA's annual distribution to schools, mostly from men's basketball tournament, which is upwards of $700 million. So power schools could see a reduction in distribution by about $2 million annually. All right, $2 million. Power school, I mean, it's a lot of money, but all right. This revenue sharing is where it becomes big. Athletes would receive millions of dollars in revenues from the schools. The schools would have a spending limit, somewhat similar, from what I understand, to pro sports teams' salary cap. Estimates put them about $17 to $22 million per program. That figure was determined through a percentage, about 22%, of an average Power 4 athletic department revenue stream. Okay? So that's 22%, somewhere between 17 and 22 million. I don't know what that means for Mountain West School. And then the roster limits. The NCAA currently sets roster limits for baseball and all this stuff. Under the new model, the schools could set their own roster limits, expand scholarship across the limits. Two power conference administrators told Yahoo that they plan to add more than 100 new scholarships at an expense of $9 to $10 million annually. So if you add it up, the 10-year settlement agreement would cost each power conference school about $300 million over the decade, $30 million a year. Reference to this. The SEC last year distributed about $51 million to each member. So that's what we're looking at. That's real money for each school. Mike, you want to talk about it? Good morning, Mike. You're on the Sports Animal. How you living?
Hey, good morning, guys. Back home from Little Rock, Arkansas. I was going to call when I was on the road out. Right, but anyways, it's good to be home. Welcome. Listen to you guys every day from up there, by the way. But you know what? It looks like they opened the Pandora box now, right? No money flowing to players, and it's ridiculous money, and good for them. So since we're already our foot's in the water, we might as well just jump in with both feet and just go like the pros. I mean, I think you gotta have contracts. If we're going to be a development league in the Mountain West, then you got to have buyout clauses, and just go all the way out. Let them get all the if people want to contact them, so be it. But you're going to pay handsomely if you're going to buy out a player. And I think it's out, even the conversation of maybe being able to protect one player. Say, hey, we're going to franchise this player, and then just even have it planned out when you go in as maybe you're going in as right out of high school. You got your 4 years planned out. You achieve this is what you get. You achieve that, that's what you get. And it's always spelled out to the end. And just play it all out. Play it out before they start.
It's interesting. Yeah, that everything changes. No, I like it because it's a pro model, and that's where it seems like it's going. Mike, appreciate you. Thanks for listening. JJ, he's saying, I mean, it's pro sports now. Play it as pro sports.
Yeah, there's going to have to be something where when all this stuff becomes above board and it gets out of the hands of the collectives, that what's going on in terms of money that's going where, who's getting what, how that money is being distributed. And it's never been a 4-year model. Like, it's there, like you can stay, but we know, and college athletes would tell you, man, it's year to year. And it's not just a transfer portal. Like, there are times that if you weren't playing good enough, you might be the one that was doing the extra workouts and kind of being shown what's up. But in this case, do you have that conversation with athletes if it gets to the contract model where, hey, here's your 2-year scholarship, but hey, if you leave after the first year, you got to understand that whatever school gets you, maybe they have to pay a $50,000 buyout clause on this or that. Like, that's the questions you're going to have to start answering, because at some point in time, yes, these student athletes want a piece of the puzzle, which they're getting, but with that comes restriction for them. If they want the pro model, Not every pro athlete can all the time go wherever they want 24/7.
Well, no, they can't. I mean, that's what contracts are. And very often pro athletes cannot go where they want. I mean, very often, right? It sounds to me like that what you're saying is, and I need legal help on this because I honestly don't know the answer. But what you're saying to me sounds like employees, right? And if they're employees of the university, do they have to go to school? How many?
I'm sure you could. Yes,
they do. They have to stay academically eligible. I mean, I would think that would be part of the student athlete model at the universities. I mean, if you just want minor league sports, have minor league sports.
Yeah. Go try getting in the G League.
Right. Go to the UFL. I can't see the majority of college presidents just going, yeah, that's fine. You don't have to go to school. Just come hang out on our campus, make a bunch of money, represent our school, but you don't. I just can't see it. And so, contract like he was talking about franchising. You're not franchising a player. But if Louisville wants your coach, they got to pay you a compensation that's built into a contract, right? If Louisville wants your power forward, should they have to pay you compensation as well? Well, if there's a contract, they would. Look, man, I don't know. My head's spinning. Because I every time I hear something that makes sense, there's a roadblock. But I know where we are. And when I read, what's happening with this lawsuit, which, I mean, it's groundbreaking, guys. It's changing the way college athletics is going to work. When you hear schools, Alabama's going to go to 100 college scholarship for football.
Oh yeah, it's Georgia just gave Kirby Smart $13 million a year.
Yeah,
like 10 years.
Yeah.
And so when those things happen, it goes, the players look and say, we can get a piece of that puzzle for sure.
Well, don't you think they should? I mean, I don't know how much a coach needs. And look,
I guess where were the people that were so nearsighted
in regards to
in the NCAA? Like they thought like they could hang on to this with all the stuff that was coming down, seeing how things were changing.
It's pretty amazing it lasted that long.
Like, just no one was like, hey, we need to have this serious discussion. We need to talk about cream cheese on a bagel is not going to keep everyone happy for that long.
They got their damn cream cheese, didn't they?
Well, I mean, yeah, they're all right. Food and cream cheese. You can get food all you want if you're an athlete.
Can even have butter.
Maybe even some butter in there. I don't know about jelly. I don't know if we can afford that.
Little packets.
Where was any of the forward thinking for the NCAA? Like at any point of going, hey, we might actually have something to address.
Well, I mean, it would have looked like this whenever it was being addressed. You know what I'm saying?
But instead of being able to have these conversations and be out in front of it, there's no all right, let's
They're
get
just playing defense now.
Shambles, and people are doing whatever they want.
Yeah, somebody said this to me. I don't remember who it was, and I think they're really right. College athletics is totally reactionary and not proactive, right? The whole industry for the last feels like a decade has been reacting to lawsuits, to whatever happened, and there's been no proactivity.
I think a lot of it stems from, to your point, this is the way it is. If this team, if my football team's in the Big Ten, everything else has to be in the Big Ten, or the conferences, we're making this amount of money, we have to make the same amount of money of everyone else. But I've talked to so many coaches to understand that was an unsustainable model, and no one wanted to. While you're already playing a different game, no one wants to look at a conference opponent that's making that much more money.
What would it look like? So I know you're a proponent of this, and I'm a proponent of some aspects. If the football, the way everything's broken off in football, fine, break it off in football, but everything else went back to some of the traditional. I don't even know where you go to tradition, right? But so the Pac-12 stayed together except for football. Fine, everybody wants to break up and go their separate ways. You got some of the Big Ten, some of the Big 12, some of the ACC, but the Pac-12 looks the same for basketball, for baseball, for everything else. Same as the Big 12, right? Texas and Oklahoma can go and play football in the SEC, but they come back and play everything else in the Big 12. Those sorts of things. The argument against it is Cal is going to the ACC and making, I'm going to throw a number out there, $20 million in TV revenue. Meanwhile, USC's in the Big Ten making $80-90 million in TV revenue. And now they're coming back and playing everything else the same. And so Cal, Stanford, Arizona State are all playing from behind because USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington are making, well, not Oregon, Washington right now, but they're making so much more money. It's not fair. It's not a fair playing field. And I understand that. And it's not an invalid argument.
But they're already playing in an unfair playing field. If you're saying in all Division I athletics,
but within a conference, but within that conference,
but that it's not about the conference.
But
it's
at that
about
point,
postseason play.
But at that point, it would be,
and it's not like you're winning anyway in that conference.
If you're Cal, if you're Stanford, I mean, Stanford wins a lot of things, dude. They don't win football. Stanford wins a lot of championships.
Okay.
Right? And now they'd be playing from behind. I mean, that's their argument. How am I supposed to win in water polo? How's my women's
Crimea River? How's the Lobos supposed to win in anything?
But the Lobos are playing on a relative even playing field amongst their peers in the Mountain West, are they not?
Yes, they are.
Now, nationally, 100% right. No, they're not. I mean, they're not playing on the same field as Arizona or Arizona State, let alone USC or Alabama. But yet you're telling me they're all Division I. I get that argument. That to me, that's almost a separate
argument. The problem is where that starts to hit me is if schools then, which it's getting to, can directly compensate players.
We'll be there.
That's when that argument. Right now, that argument,
we're going to be there any day. I mean, literally, we're going to be there any day. Yeah. If we're not already there. So. All right, 505-246-0610. I do want to hit on the Bucks. If you want to get in on any of this, you can. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. On the Twixter, it's _JJ Buck, and on the Facebook, the OD in the AM. When we come back, you got a bunch of emails where the snap's coming from. Nothing's ever easy. The OD is amazing. All these things for you next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the pennies. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often alcohol is involved.
Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
All right, what says you? 505-246-0610. That's the Sports Animals phone line, the Sports Animals text line. You're sending me emails this morning. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ's getting them. JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. I love when I hear the caller, he was in Little Rock, and he said he listens, and he listened the whole way when he was in Arkansas. I was at the bowl meetings 3 weeks ago down in El Paso, and guys from a bowl on the West Coast, like, dude, I listen to your show all the time. When you tell me you do some radio, he's like, I listen to your guys' show all the time, man. It's got me weirdly interested in topics that I shouldn't be weirdly interested in. It's like, yeah, you guys are great. We got people. It's cool, man. I know people listen to Texas and Cali and wherever, man. We appreciate you taking it. We got an app. You can download the Sports Animal app, and you can take us wherever we go. When I'm on the road, sometimes I even listen to it. See? When I'm not in meetings.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
No, it's good. We appreciate you all doing that. All right. Emails this morning, and you guys are in. Again, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. Come on in and jump. Emails says OD is amazing. Thank you. Mobile Hobo said, Jeff, yesterday you were putting together a list of guys that are always hurt. You forgot Kristaps Porzingis. Did we? I mean, he's hurt often. Right? This one's interesting. I was talking about how in athletics, very often people make more than their boss, right? Patrick Mahomes is making way more than his general manager or his head coach. I said Bronco Mendenhall and Richard Pitino are making more than Eddie. I got text says Bronco Mendenhall and Richard Pitino do not answer to Eddie Nunez. It's like a college football or basketball player making over $1 million a year does not answer to those head coaches as well. You have to leave the NCAA out of the debate. You can't say that out loud, but everyone knows that's the case in college athletics. Well, don't those coaches actually answer to the athletic? I mean, the athletic director is the one who can fire him, right? That's the one who hired them. And you can say, well, once they're in, who's got the power? The guy making, $1.5 million a year, the guy making $450,000 a year. But the AD is still his boss, right? He still has he determines his employment status. No, I'm not sure I understand where Ned's coming from on that. Don't the coaches answer to the AD? That's to whom they report, right? I mean, even if they report to the president,
yes,
right,
would be the setup.
I mean, at some point they report to somebody who's not making as much money as them.
To their job, they could report to who can scrounge up enough money for a buyout.
Well, but Richard Pitino is the highest paid state employee, right? I mean, that's well known, right? That's public record. He makes more than the governor. He makes more than, but he reports to someone, right? Just because he's the highest paid doesn't mean he's the highest ranking, correct? Okay, that's all I was saying. Biggest news yesterday, according to Carl, Tiger Woods made the verbal commitment to the U.S. Open, Jeff. Yep, we're going to talk with Nick coming about here in about 8 minutes about that. Mike says schools will never run their NIL, Jeff Alou. Yesterday, there were callers who suggested teams just run their NIL. That can never happen because right now being private gives them cover. The minute the college takes it over and says, for example, they want to put another $5 million into football and men's basketball, it falls under Title IX, and they have to find another $5 million for women's sports. In fact, I do believe that the NIL is going to come in-house, and any day now I think that's going to happen. I think it will be brought in-house, and they're going to have to figure all of that out. And it's going to be very, very interesting how that is figured out. And does a school have to spend the same money, NIL money, on women's athletes as they do on male athletes? And if so, look out. Because how are you going to, what you got to pay your football team at Alabama, how are you paying women's athletes at? And I don't even know if that's part of the issue. You know what I'm saying? Gene says nothing's ever easy when you're a struggling AAA franchise. Even a big lead at the top of the ninth, Jeff, with your closer, who Sushan just spent 5 minutes telling you how great he was, how big a part of what they want to do late in games defensively coming onto the court. Yep, Topes blew a lead in the ninth and then came back and walked off Round Rock yesterday and won the game. Big weekend out there, by the way. Meat Machine says, where are the snaps going to come from, Jeff? How can you go to 100 scholarships? There's still only 11 guys that can be on the court at once. Games are still only 60 minutes long. How are you going to keep everyone happy? I mean, you know the answer to this. First of all, dudes are going to be thrilled if they're making NIL money. Right?
Same way that we've played football with 85 scholarship players?
That's right. Tell me the answer. Would you rather play at Arkansas State and make $25,000 in NIL money, or would you rather sit on the bench at Arkansas and make $150,000 in NIL?
I'm sitting on the bench at Arkansas for 2 years and then going to play for 2 years.
Okay, if that's an option.
Of course, yeah.
If it's the option that way, right? You may have to go prove yourself at Arkansas State first to go get the opportunity to sit in Arkansas, right? Now, if you're coming the other way, if you're highly recruited, then. Yeah. But I think that's a real question a lot of guys are asking themselves. You know, do I want to go play and make less money? In basketball, it could be, you know, do I want to make $50,000 as opposed to $300,000? Football, maybe it's 25 to 150. I don't know. I just, whatever it is. I think that's a real question that the guys are asking themselves. All right, we're going to ask Nick Nee some questions when we come back. He's the director of golf out at the San Diego Golf Club. We're going to talk to him about the big news on Tiger yesterday, get you a golf tip, make your golf game better, and does Tiger have a chance playing once a month? He's going to play in the next major. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We're all moving a little faster now.
Trust the team that's going to keep up.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So
It's perfect today, Friday. Time's your tea time. Go to SanDiegoGolf.com and make it. Get your best rates right there. PGA is at the Byron Nelson at McKinney, Texas. Jake Knapp, Kelly Crafter, your leaders at -9. Zach Johnson and Matt Wallace, one back at -8. JJ, I know you always ask, when do they play? Liv is playing this week as well. It's Liv Singapore. Sebastian Munoz of Colombia shot a 6-under-65 to lead after the first round of that tournament. 6 players are one shot back at 66, which includes Brooks Koepka, Martin Keimer, Abraham Ancer, Kevin Knotts. The opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Looking forward to having a conversation as we do on Fridays with our good friend, the director of golf at the beautiful San Diego Golf Club, who joins us this morning. Good morning, Nick Nee. How you living?
Living well. Happy Friday. Got a good weekend of golf, hopefully. So
it's going to be
excited.
Yeah, a little wind on Sunday. I think it's more of a little breeze on Sunday. This is about the time, right? It's May. It's the golf courses got a little water. They're starting. Every course I go by, and you know, the few times I get to go out, courses are looking good, and it feels like the weather's been perfect for maturation.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. You know, the good thing this part of the year is everyone's coming out of the aerification season that they kind of do towards the end of April. And it's just, or end of March, rather, I'm sorry, kind of growing through April. Growth potentials are good, so grasses are starting to wake up from the winter, and we're in great shape here. So we hope everyone gets out to enjoy San Diego Golf Club because it's in phenomenal condition. Like I mentioned last week, our superintendent's doing a tremendous job.
It's all at SanDiegoGolf.com, and we'll get you some more information on that. I got an email this morning. So the biggest news was yesterday, Tiger Woods accepts a special exemption to play in the U.S. Open. And you're like, gosh, Tiger needs an exemption to play in the U.S. Open. He last won that in 2008. And he has lifetime exemptions to the Masters and the PGA. I mean, he can play into the Open until he's 60. But why did he need an exemption? And more so, can he compete playing once a month?
Yeah, I think if there's anybody that could, it's probably that man. I don't know, and it's going to be, for him, it's all facility driven. I think, in my opinion, you know, what type of layout they have. The U.S. Open is such a challenging setup with the way they grow in the rough. He is strong as could be, but you heard him say at the end of the Masters that you got to get back in the gym, and I think he saw on the horizon he's got to be stronger if he's not going to put the ball in the fairway. Granted, he hit his tee balls pretty good, so if he continues to do that, I think he can put rounds together. But you're talking 4 rounds on a tough setup. It's great for the game of golf. It created a buzz for us yesterday. We had people asking as they check in. So it's great. You know, he's tied 5th most U.S. Opens, and it's the one that doesn't give lifetime exemption. So a little interesting, but I'm happy he got the exemption because it's great for the game of golf, and we'll see what he can do. I mean, I think if there's anybody that can do it, it's Tiger Woods.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, week to week, Nick, he's irrelevant. I mean, when it comes to the leaderboard, he's not there almost every week, and he finished last with the guys who made the cut at the Masters, but yet he's still that dude, and he's still the guy people walk into the golf shop and want to talk about.
It's unbelievable. You just look at what his Sunday Red Drop did on May 1st.
Right.
I think they sold out of that capsule within the first day. I know that I popped on just to kind of see where it was at, you know, with kind of how our retail business goes here. And kind of see what they're doing. And I think 6 styles that I checked at 8 o'clock in the morning on the 1st were already sold out. So he does it on all fronts. But it's great for the game of golf. We need that. Now we have parity, which is great. New guys coming in, young guys. That's obviously good for the industry. People can look up to those individuals. But when you talk someone that can do it on all fronts, not just on the golf course, it's unbelievable what he's able to do and the buzz that he creates. But he's earned it. I mean, just look at that career with how many wins he has on the tour and how many majors. Certainly comes with the territory.
And I think the logo's pretty cool. I know people, some love it, some don't. I'm looking at the Sunday Red stuff right now. He's Nick Nee, the director of golf over at the San Diego Golf Club.
Nick, we know someone like Tiger Woods at this point in his life and his career, it's kind of just about body maintenance, what he can do to get his body right. But, the game of golf is something that, I've heard other athletes talk about it. They say it's just something you can never master, so you're always working on it. And even when you won major tournaments, you're Scotty Scheffler, you're these guys. What are you doing week to week to improve your golf game?
I think it's little things, where they're leaving the golf ball, what side of the hole they're hitting on, what their numbers are. We go out, and I'll say from a very bird's eye view, some we work on with our kids, like, let's just hit the green. They're looking more minute. What number did I land it on? What side of the hole did I hit it on? How far did I carry it? What's my spin rates? It's very minor things because that's going to create the difference between a win or, middle of the tier tied for 20th event that week. So I think a lot of it is they prepare on those little things so well. I think there was a quote, I don't know who said it over the week, that for every round of competition is an endless amount and unforeseen preparation. Those guys are so good at how they prepare going into events and what they're able to do and how they control their golf ball on the golf course. Because they have to be very specific in where they leave it. So working on things like that, those little things, I think are key for guys at that level of play.
Hey, Nick, Brooks Koepka said, I think it was this week, he was talking about this potential merger, and I don't know where this goes, LIV and PGA. He said it's between the PIF, the Saudi Public Investment Fund, and the PGA. He said, I think that's the difference. It's not LIV Golf, it's the PIF and the PGA. I think that's something that needs to be well known. That was his quote. Man, I don't know where it is. All I know is 11 months ago, they said somehow we're going to come together. It feels to me that we're going to be, within 2 years, back probably having these guys all play together. Some guys are going to have an extra $150 to $400 million in their pocket, and some guys are not. And I know Tiger's going to get $100 million and a retention fee or loyalty fee, and Rory's going to get $50. But it feels like the guys who took the money are going to end up coming back and just go, ha, I took the money, we're back in the same place, I'm playing the same tournaments.
I think you're 100% correct. And as a consumer, like I said last week, you didn't tune into Michael Jordan because he was making X amount of more than Luke Longley. You tuned in because he was the best at his craft and you want to see what he did that night on any given night or a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. So at the end of the day, those are astronomical numbers. I can't even fathom that to begin with. So I just want to see the best guys on the weekends at any event, whether it's a PGA Tour event. I do think Brooks is right. I think it's between the PGA Tour and the PIF. The interesting thing on the PGA Tour side is it's a player-run organization, hopefully, or at least that's what they were led to believe. And the PIF is it's a private investment fund, right? So you have players involved on the player advisory board with Tiger Woods, and now Rory McIlroy's coming back to it. So I just think they're going to have to come to an agreement. I think all of us in golf are tired of hearing about how many hundreds of millions and things of that nature. We just want to put them on the golf course, compete against the best, because that's going to make for good TV. And if some play in LIV events and some play in PGA Tour events, so be it. But you saw it at the Masters. You see it at those major championships. There's LIV guys playing with PGA Tour guys. There's still friendships. I think there are, unfortunately, some bridges that were burned. But that comes with business decisions, unfortunately, for those guys. But at the end of the day, let's just get the best guys on the course. Let's see what it's like, because if you see in majors, it's great TV for these guys, and we need to get viewership back up. We need to get that buzz in the game at all avenues, all aspects back in the same realm.
Yeah. All right. He's Nick Nee, the director of golf at San Diego Golf Club. Get us on the golf course and make us better. What do you got?
Yeah, great tip. We're going to the putting green for this one. Last week we worked on kind of core rotation on that takeaway. Again, another thing coming out of the winter. Main thing we see when we see putting, there's two factors. There's speed and how hard you hit it, and the aim. Now, depending on methods of teachers, I think speed is the most important because it determines the line that you're going to take and where you aim the golf ball. But what we see in the issue with speed is not necessarily how hard you hit it, but it's actually where you strike the golf ball. Most people are hitting it too low. So what you're going to do in this drill, get a poker chip ball marker, a quarter, silver dollar, something bigger than a dime or a nickel. You're going to place that right behind the golf ball and just work on hitting putts where the putter head is actually grazing above that coin or that marker to essentially make contact with the equator of the golf ball. What that's going to do is it's going to get the ball rolling end over end. The sooner we can get that ball rolling on the green and not skidding like a chip shot, you're going to be able to determine your speed a lot easier. Good progression with this drill, if you want, is put a stick 15 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, and as you do that drill, now you can look at how you're putting the speed of the golf ball. And the easier you can do that, the quicker you can get it closer to the hole, hopefully. But we're really just looking at how we're impacting the golf ball through the gate of impact and how the putter's meeting the golf ball. We don't want it at the bottom because it's going to pop it up and you're going to skid. It's really hard to determine speed once that thing gets airborne. So get it rolling end over end, poker chip or coin behind it. Hit essentially the equator, get it rolling end over end, and let's have good speed as we build this swing up from here.
Nick, where should the ball be in your stance putting? Should it be in the middle? Should it be towards the front? Where should the ball be in your stance?
Yeah, great question. I think that's why you see a lot of it in the front of the stance, more or less, because the arc of the golf swing, essentially you're meeting it just like a driver, right? We're not swinging up at this with speed like a driver, but the arc of where the putter moves through impact is on that up portion because we're getting that ball to roll end over end. I think you can play with it if you have preference. And with that drill, I think you'll be able to get it end over end, even if you put it in the middle, if that's where your comfort level is. But essentially, you want it as that putter is moving up and away through the arc.
And a way to determine if you're doing it the right way is if you draw, a line. A lot of guys draw a line on their golf ball, or there's lines on golf ball. If you line that up, you see that line going end over end, right? If it's all over the place, you're not hitting the ball right.
100%. If you're playing early in the morning and there's dew on the golf course, that is a great time to go look at how you're striking the golf ball on the putting green, because you'll see if it gets airborne, or you'll see a consistent line as it moves through the dew if you're actually rolling it end over end. I'm telling you, once you figure out how to get that ball rolling sooner, you'll be able to judge your speed a lot better.
And it's amazing how many strokes you will save on the golf course, not three putting and maybe even making one now. It's amazing
100%.
how your scores will go down. All right, what's going on out at your place?
Yeah, we got a lot going on. May's Player Development Month for the PGA of America. So in May, we start all of our junior stuff. We kicked off our PGA Junior League on Wednesday with about 100 kiddos. It's off to a great start. The best news for listeners and juniors coming out is with school ending, we got Cubs starting May 26th. That's 9 to 10 in the morning on Sundays. That Sunday after Mother's Day is when we'll start. You could call the Wednesday prior to reserve your spot. We encourage you to call as early as you can. We're here in the golf shop at 5:30 in the morning. It fills up quick. We take the first 10 kids, and then we overflow to a second class if necessary. Additionally, on the food and beverage side, I'm sitting on the best patio in Albuquerque right now looking at a beautiful golf course. Come out and enjoy a meal with us. We got a specialty drink menu paired with key menu items like our Poke Nachos, great Bloody Mary, great Moscow Mule, a wonderful old-fashioned. It's an entire yardage book-looking drink menu, so you can flip through and see what food items paired with our specialty drink. Come enjoy the patio, enjoy this beautiful weekend we got. We look forward to seeing everyone here at San Diego Golf Club real soon.
Love this. I'm so glad we're doing this again, my friend. Great talking to you. Enjoy the weekend. Have fun. Watch the Derby, maybe hit the golf ball. Have a refreshment on the patio, and we will catch you next week.
Appreciate it, gentlemen. Have a great weekend.
He is Nick Nee. See you, the director of golf, San Diego Golf Club, and as good as there is in the business. The putting thing.
I love that patio.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Hang out there Sunday morning throughout the summer.
Yeah, you're going to be out there for the Cubs. Make putts. It will lower your score. Great golf tip. It's the opening drive. Kenny Thomas is here at 9 o'clock. We'll kick it with Kenny and hit the hoops. On 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward, like fantasy.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the Frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, me and my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
The service is taking security to a whole new level, literally a whole new level. For 18 years, IPS has offered standing guards, 24-hour patrols, protecting homes and businesses in Albuquerque and recently in Santa Fe. But now IPS Global Aviation is using a fleet of drones with high-definition cameras and analytics software to exceed your security expectations. So with the drones, IPS is monitoring your next event. They'll track emergency response, follow criminal activity that you can't see as well from the ground. The drones include thermal imaging, so IPS will be able to help with eyes in the sky during wildfire season, too. It's unmatched ability to watch from the air. On the ground, IPS continues to use highly trained armed officers to watch your home, your business. That means a lot to all of us. They'll install cameras to monitor them around the clock as well. That deters criminal activity. Even personal bodyguards if there's a threat to your safety. So if you got a safety issue, IPS has you covered. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420 or online at ipsglobal.com. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Looking forward to talking with Kenny Thomas coming up in the next segment. 9 o'clock, he'll be here. We'll kick it with him and get in on a bunch of the NBA stuff. Hey, we talked about Ezekiel Elliott being back with the Cowboys. Dak Prescott seems to be happy. The quote from Dak Prescott is super excited. Just obviously knowing our history, my experience with him as a brother, but in this case as a teammate, understanding what he brings to the team. Just the locker room alone, the culture he sets, a guy that does everything the right way from the locker room to the field. Happy quarterback, happy life. It's not the same, but it sounds like it.
I think everyone is fine with Ezekiel Elliott. It was just his contract at the end when he was making some of the highest paid, money out there for a running back, and he wasn't quite producing at that elite level. And this is fine. Like he's going to go in there, be part of a rotation. I'm taking the over on touchdowns, whatever it is. I think he's going to find his way to the end zone.
What's the number that makes you think? Did I say 11.5?
11.5. I don't think he's going over that.
What if I go 9.5?
That
makes you think. Okay, That's good. I see your face.
Yeah. I think he'll be effective in the red zone. They struggled to run the football in short yard situations at times last year with Tony Pollard. The backup running back's one of them. Dowdle or Vaughn is probably going to break off a couple big runs, and people are going to go crazy and look, he's averaging 5.7 yards per carry. Give him the ball 800 times. It'll be okay.
There's another quarterback in the NFC wants more money. Matthew Stafford wants the Rams to pay up. Ultimately, why he wants more guaranteed money. He wants the Rams, in what he says, make a true commitment through 2025. Sean McVay's willing to do it. He's the coach. Stafford said, we're taking it a year at a time, but as long as this was McVay. We're taking it a year at a time, but as long as he wants to play, we're fortunate to have him as our quarterback. 36 years old, played well last year. A lot better than I thought he would play. I know you were on him last year. He wants more guaranteed money. Yay or nay? It's hard for me. It's hard for me to say no.
Do you just say, hey, let's give you a 2-year deal, or you give him a nice chunk and just play it year to year at the back end with
I'll give him 2 years guarantee.
Yeah.
I'll give him 2. At what? Does he want 50 a year? Another $100 million?
More than Kirk Cousins?
What do you do with another $100 million? Well, so here's another $100 million. What do you do? Is the answer anything you want? I mean, it kind of is, right? Kenny Thomas doing next. I mean, I'll ask him. He's got all the money, doesn't he? Talk some NBA, kick it with Kenny. College portal stuff as well. Opening drive. Glad you're with us on a Friday. We got a hoe at some point too, I think. A 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
This is Kicking It with Kenny Thomas. Brought to you by Capital Ford on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Look who's here. Look who's here. Kenny Thomas is here, boys and girls. Kicking it with the former Lobo grade, 11-year NBA veteran. On a Friday, he's all. It's short. What time's your tea time today?
I played yesterday.
How'd you play?
I shot a 91.
All right, where at?
Sleta.
All right.
Where my golf tournament's going to be September 14th.
They're my people.
Yep.
I love them.
Carl and them over there. They take
Carl's
care
as
of
good
me.
as there is, man. It's good. Breakfast at Parelas this morning?
Oh, yeah. I just came from there, obviously.
Huevos?
No. 2 eggs, bacon,
Yeah.
sprinkle some cheese on that thing.
Yeah.
Tortilla.
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah. All right, Christmas.
Yeah, but we had a guest today. We had the mayor showed up and
Is that right?
he showed up at like 8:40-ish
That's
this
not
morning.
that long ago. That's a few
And then
minutes
I'm
ago.
like,
I gotta
okay,
go.
I gotta go. So we started going around the table and introducing themselves, and yeah.
The mayor chased you out.
Yeah, he stood up, and then I didn't want to be rude, so I was like, hey, I gotta go do my show with Jeff.
Well, as long as he knew it was me. Good thing I'm wearing a dark shirt today because I just spilled coffee.
See, this is Jeff's show, and Jeff, obviously my boy, gave me 30-minute spot on during his whole time. I appreciate that, bud.
I got light pants. I missed my pants. All right. It's the opening drive. Kenny Thomas is with us. I guess.
Hey, I spilled green chili on my shorts, but I
Did
had
you?
to.
What color are your shorts?
Blue.
All right, so nobody knows.
Yeah, I like your blue shirt.
Yeah, your black shirt's pretty too. Hey, can I start here? So the portal closed, and you and I. When did the Toppin thing go down? Oh, I broke the news to you on Wednesday. That's when it went down. I broke it to you when I was in Scottsdale.
Yep.
All right, so the portal closed. Richard Pitino put out a tweet yesterday. Want to commend, he said, I want to commend the guys who stayed, basically. Shout out to those guys. Let's celebrate them, those who stay. We've added great pieces to the future is bright. I appreciate the way Richard Pitino handles media, messaging. I think his demeanor's right. I don't know how you took that as a Lobo, seeing that tweet, but I think the message is right, man. Let's celebrate the guys who are here, because the thought process from him is, look, when it came out that JT Toppin was in the portal, other schools were calling Pickett, Donovan Dent, whoever it is, Drew Washington, saying, hey, that thing's blowing up. They're not going to be good anymore. Come play for me. They decided to stay here, and I think the messaging from Richard was right.
I totally agree with you. And I'm not just saying that. It's nice to have a coach that's been here for a little bit, right? And I know this community wants somebody that's going to be stable and create some stability, because I know I do. Yeah. I know that this is a smaller market. Obviously, there's some bigger markets out there that have other resources, from NIL to different things. But I totally appreciate his approach. And the fact that those guys were here last year was a ride, man. And it was a nice ride. And they won the Mountain West Conference Championship. Nobody even thought that could have possibly happened to a certain extent. We did. Mm-hmm. We wanted that. But the way that the season was going down towards the end last year, we didn't know. And it was a game at a one game at a time in the Mountain West Conference tournament. But I will say this. I reached out to Pitino, and we talked. Ricky Davis, who played in the NBA, reached out to me because we're doing some stuff together. I have a venture coming next year on the basketball side, hopefully to the state of New Mexico. I'm a part of it. It's launching in Texas here this coming fall. Brad Miller, my old teammate, brought me in on this. So there's a basketball league that I'm associated with, and I'm an ambassador. So Ricky Davis reached out to me, and he's like, hey, my kid is looking at possibly transferring from Detroit Mercy. So I reached out to Pitino. He called me back, and he said he's going to look into it.
Yeah, yep. I think that's good. JJ, what was it? You were saying yesterday you wanted to ask Kenny something. I forgot what it was. Oh, it was about something to the effect, you tell me if I'm wrong. In today's day, and I know we've talked about it a little bit. You talked about you had opportunities. Somebody comes to you and says, hey, man, there's $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 for you to go to Texas, Baylor, wherever. How would you said no at that point?
I'm loyal, man.
I get it, but so you wouldn't have gone?
No.
Really?
If I'm making...
let's say you're making $250 here.
That's more money than I've ever seen. Right. So outside of the money, right? This is and and I'm still gonna stick to this. Outside of the money, man, that's money that they never would have seen before. Period. You're making over $100,000. I get it. I'm not hating on them going to get their money, to be honest. But you asked me the question about if I would have left. No, because 18,000 people is what I had every game. Created dots for standing room only. High school game, 18,000 people.
Stand on your dots.
Why? I would rather have less money and have more people cheering my name than to leave. And I came here for that specific reason because I didn't want to go to a bigger market, right? Like a UConn or North Carolina. I could have, but why would I? I stayed right here. It was my team. And every year we built around what we had. And we already had a solid core with Clayton Shields, Charles Smith when I came. And that made it easier for me. But I don't want to say his name in a bad way, but people might not like it. But Dave Bliss did a great job for 4 years when I was here recruiting.
He's Kenny Thomas, former Lobo great, with us on The Sports Animal.
I think a lot of people love to hear that.
Yeah.
But, when you're 19, 20, 21 years old, how do you have that mindset?
I get it, but once again, okay, we don't know what's gonna happen. I wish JT and Mashburn the utmost respect and thank you for what you did here at UNM. Going and playing in another conference, and there's names, you have to fit in. You have to fit in. It's one thing to get the money, right? But obviously you got to pay taxes on that. And then your end goal is to get to the NBA. I would hope, right? That's your end goal.
Well, if you're at a certain level, I think that there's two different things you got to talk about. The guys who really think they have a chance to get to the NBA and the guys who this is going to be their payday.
And I was just about to address that, right? Because end goal, try to get to the NBA, right? Now, when you really think about it, you got to add the component. How do you get to the NBA? Numbers. JT double machine, right? I hope he goes and he does that. But if he would have stayed here in the Mountain West, which is not a bigger conference, you could have been a bigger fish in a smaller pond and stood out just like I did what I did.
And by the way, dudes have come out of here, you, Kawhi Leonard, Danny Granger, Paul George. I mean, there's plenty of guys who've come out of this league that have made a whole lot of money in the NBA.
Yep, it's all about numbers, man. And if they're gonna come, If you're putting up numbers and doing what you're doing, Yep, it's just the way it is, man. Numbers get you paid, numbers get you opportunities. But to the other side, I get it to a certain extent. Like, you got to get your money because you might not go to the NBA, right? And you might not go overseas. But if you're that type of caliber player, like a JT, one of those things are going to happen. Hopefully, but nothing's guaranteed. So I don't know.
All right. Bottom line is the guys who are here. I mean, that's the focus, and I think looking forward is a big deal. You good with where Lobos are right now?
Well, you got Dent. I love the way he posted what he did, and I think it came at the right time. The fact that he's showing commitment and dedication, I feel like that's huge. It's been his team since last year. It's going to be nice to see the pieces that they put around him. And once again, it's one of those things, man. You never know what's going to happen. What if JT would have declared for the NBA, right, and came out? Then you still have to figure it out. Mashburn, he leaves, probably didn't expect that to happen. But once again, I respect those guys tremendously. They did an unbelievable job playing here in New Mexico. Never heard anything bad about them in the community. So hat off to them. Thank you both. But, hey, you got to keep it moving, man.
That's right. All right, when we come back, you want to hit some NBA stuff?
Yeah.
Boy, that Knicks series was fun with the Sixers.
Oh, man.
I mean, I know it didn't go the right way, but it was for you. But it was a hell of a watch, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it really was,
so
man.
We'll get there.
Sixers.
Yeah, we'll get there on that. What do they do? I want to get into where the Bucks go.
Yeah.
We'll talk NBA playoffs and the Clippers. It's next. It's the Kenny Thomas is here. We're kicking it with Kenny on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Travis Kelce's girlfriend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
What a series. Knicks beat the Sixers 118-115. Jalen Brunson had 41 points, but Josh Hart was big. Dante DiVincenzo was big. They'll play the Pacers, who finish off the Bucks 120-98. TJ McConnell off the bench for 20. Obi Toppin, the former Knick, off the bench for 21. So it'll be Pacers and Knicks in the next round. In the East, it will be Celtics and who I got on the winner of the Orlando Cleveland series on the other side of that. Kicking it with Kenny. Kenny Thomas is here. All right, from the Sixers angle, I think we always tend to go with the team who loses.
Yeah.
Well, but because that's it. I mean, they're done, and they're the big story. The other ones goes on. Joel Embiid, I thought, was a stud. Look, he's hurt a lot, but he played through it. He played well. He had 39 points last night and could barely walk. He's got Bell's palsy. I mean, we're dealing with stuff. Where do they go? Because Maxey was good in Game 5, terrific in Game 5. Not good. He was unbelievable. But you got 0 out of Tobias Harris yesterday, 17 out of Maxey. Where do they go now?
Man, they need some defense. They need some gritty guys. They need some savages. They need a guy.
Like the Knicks have?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially, see, with the Sixers, that they needed at the 3 spot. Maxey's not going anywhere. Joel Embiid, they needed at the 3 and the 4 to offset Joel Embiid, especially with him being a liability from the standpoint of being healthy on the defensive end. Obviously, he's going to score, but when you see those ones that can actually play both sides, those are the ones like the Tim Duncans and the KGs and guys like that. So I feel like Embiid, I don't know if he needs to lose weight or whatever it may be. I've been there, but there has to be a change in how he's preparing before the season or something.
Well, at this point, he's 31 years old. What is there to change with the expectations?
Well, are you talking about as far as the Sixers in general?
Well, just why hasn't he done that to this point? Is it his weight, or is it just
he just hasn't? Why Zion still having weight issues and problems? Right? It's kind of the same thing. You have to change and transform. I did it.
Thick really guys, did. It's hard to change body type when you're thick.
Yeah, but but all that weight, it takes a toll because 82 game season, it's wear and tear. It's not easy. It's like 4 or 5 games a week, and then you're traveling. And then if you have injuries flying in the air, there's a lot of different things that can happen. You could swell up. There's different things, but I put those 2 guys in the same category. But you got to expect, like I said, as far as Embiid just being the guy on the offensive end, but they can get some guys to help complement. That's usually what happens.
You were saying they got about as much money in free agency as anybody, right? I mean,
well, they're in a good spot. Tobias Harris comes off the books. Tyrese Maxey is going to re-up, but then you have the ability to put those pieces around him. They could probably go out there and try to chase another star, whether it's Paul George or Pascal Siakam, if you're looking for more of a player to fit in as opposed to being the guy. There's opportunity for Philadelphia. But the thing with Joel Embiid, too, is he's not going. He can get in shape, but that's also a body that even as a young player, he didn't play for 2 seasons to start his career. The foot, the knee, 31 years old. Do you keep trusting the process, or do you start talking about what the future looks like after Joel Embiid?
I don't think he's going anywhere right now. 31 is a decent age right now.
It's kind of you're in your prime at that point.
Exactly. You're supposed to be. When I was playing, they said your prime was between 28, 29, and like 33-ish. But there's certain things that he could go about as far as like structuring certain workouts and different things to help with his mobility, his core, different things like that is what I'm saying. You have to change the way that you're not younger anymore, so you have to change and adapt, especially with the guys that are coming in, especially being younger and different things like that.
He's Kenny Thomas. We're kicking it with Kenny talking about the NBA. Or what about the Knicks, man? I mean, they got some dogs there. Josh Hart was great. Hartenstein does the dirty work. Brunson is just filthy. Look, Porzingis is hurt. The Celtics probably, JJ and I had a conversation. Celtics would probably be your favorite over the Knicks, even without Porzingis. But, man, they got a swinger's chance. They got to get through the Pacers first, and I think this will be fun because I don't want to just overlook Indiana. But the Knicks look nice.
Yeah, the Pacers and the Knicks series is going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of up and down. There's going to be, when it comes to defense, that's going to be very interesting. I don't think the NBA is a defensive league right now. But when you get into the playoffs, that mentality should shift a little bit. That's where the older guys come in and help the younger guys when it comes to it's a whole different game in the postseason than it was the regular season. But the Pacers, I got to go with the Pacers in that series.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Pacers are nice.
All right, let's go west. Clippers are in trouble. And no Kawhi Leonard. I asked JJ this earlier. Is Kawhi Leonard a Hall of Famer right now?
It depends on how you look at it, because he's another guy that's been hurt on a regular basis the last 3 to 5 years, and he hasn't. When was the last time he played a full season? And he's over there getting paid a crap load of money.
A lot of money, $150 million over 3.
Yeah, and that just came in, I think, or it starts next year. But he's still making a significant amount of money. I would love to see him on the floor. That was the concern with me. If all 3 of them were going to be able to be healthy, and Westbrook, he's one of those guys to where you never know what he's going to do. He could show up and show out, or he could not.
You're looking at about a 9-year sample size right now.
With Kawhi?
Kawhi, you're looking at impactful years that he's played.
I mean, I look at it. He won championships with 2 franchises. He was the guy. He was Finals MVP, both of them.
Yes.
I mean, that alone, and you said he's been all NBA. He's all his accolades. I mean, that alone kind of says, well, I mean, Hall of Fame. But if you look at the back end and you say, well, he's been injured so much, what's the best the best ability and all those things available?
I mean, obviously he's a guy because of all those accolades he has, right? And that's why he got that 3-year contract. But this is the time to where the other 3 guys should step up. That's why they're loaded. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no other way around that, right?
Dallas has been good.
Well, that series is over. In Dallas.
I think so, right? I think so.
That's
but
a wrap.
How about that game the other day? So Dallas comes back from down 31. And then James Harden saves him. Harden and George were really, really good. I don't know. Did you recall the team blowing a 31-point lead or a lead of that, 20-something point, and then still winning the game? Usually the
Doesn't
team,
happen very
especially
often.
on the road, right? I mean, I gave the Clippers a lot of credit for, you blew the lead. But to have the Stones on the road to win that game, I thought was pretty gutsy.
Yeah, it was. And you got to keep in mind, wasn't it the same in Dallas? Was it the first or second game to where the Clippers beat them pretty convincingly, right? And then we were like, whoa, okay, what's going on? But I feel like them going back to Dallas, I feel like it's a wrap.
All right.
I really
Nuggets and Wolves, when do they start tomorrow?
Tomorrow, 5 o'clock.
That's my favorite.
Did you hear some bass in his voice? He got excited because he wants to talk about the Ant-Man.
No,
Am I right, JJ, or what?
Yeah, I like Minnesota, even though the Nuggets are my squad.
I think he's nervous about that, right? I mean,
you have to be.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were all Ant-Man. But
he is.
You're a Nuggets fan, JJ? I didn't know that.
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. I took that the wrong way. But
he's a little nervous.
The Nuggets are supposed to win, but if it goes 7, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So it'll be in Minnesota if it goes 7.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
No, the Nuggets have home court.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they do?
I'm thinking Oklahoma City. Yeah.
Okay,
City's
I'll retract that then.
Yeah.
If it goes 7, obviously they're going to lose. They got to steal at least 1 in Denver, obviously 2. But if they can get that 1 early out of the first 2, I can see them potentially beating the Nuggets. Sorry, JJ.
All right, let me give you a couple of Nuggets of news. Kawhi Leonard officially out tonight. Game 6 of the Mavericks. I don't think that's a surprise. The Wolves, their coach Chris Finch, the knee injury, did lead practice, if that makes you feel any better. I'll go back. Actually, let's stay out west. Nobody's talking about the 1 seed. Nobody's talking about the 1 seed. I think the 2-3 series is going to be great, the Nuggets and Wolves. We're watching the Mavericks and Clippers. And the 1 seed, Oklahoma City, is sitting there after a sweep. I thought they looked really, really good for a young, inexperienced. And JJ and I talk about this difference all the time. The Wolves aren't a young, inexperienced team. They're just a brand you're not used to. Where Oklahoma City, they're a 1 seed with a bunch of dudes who've never been here before. And after game 1, and granted, they played a New Orleans team without Zion, but they look good. Nobody's talking about the 1 seed.
Yeah, remember when the Kings were a 3 seed last year and they ended up playing the Warriors?
Yeah.
I did not want to see the Warriors, right? it kind of reminds me of the same thing. Oklahoma City, they've been off. They're waiting, which could suck. That can create some timing situations. And practice is not the same as games, obviously. But it's going to be interesting to see who wins the Cavs series, which I think the Cavs is going to win that series. And then that's who OKC plays next.
No, they get the winner of the Mavericks and Clippers.
Oh, okay. My bad. I said that backwards.
That's all right. Yeah, they get the Mavericks and Clippers one. We were beating up on each other.
I don't see OKC beating the Mavericks in 7 games. No.
You don't?
No.
Why?
No.
Why?
OKC's a great team, and I think they're playing great ball. They got some guys that can score, but I just don't see them beating the Mavericks in 7 games. JJ, what do you think?
This is the ultimate test to that narrative.
Yeah.
Because OKC, to be the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, that's been as good as it's been in a decade.
Yeah.
And I think we touched on it a little bit. That was a perfect first round series for Oklahoma City. It wasn't the Lakers. It wasn't a veteran team. Yeah, there's CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram, but
it was perfect. It was they got tested. They got a taste of playoff intensity, but it wasn't a team of superstars. It was a team. They're better than Oklahoma City's better than New Orleans, especially without Zion.
If Zion would have been there, which I was anticipating, I had New Orleans at least putting up a fight.
Oh, sure.
I was surprised how that.
They wouldn't have got swept. But I think they would have won. Look, I look at them. I can't downplay. And JJ said something, and there's a nugget in what he just said that is why I can't downplay Oklahoma City. The West has been good for years.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's ever been as good as this. Well, come on, man. Minnesota is at the top and Oklahoma City. Yeah, dude, they're damn good. I look at everything that's going on there. I give them more than a swinger's chance at the Mavericks.
That's fair. Kind of.
They're young. The only knock on them is they're young. They're built well. They got a bunch of dogs. They got a big dude in the middle. They got a superstar. They got guys who do the dirty work. They play defense. The only knock on them is they haven't been there before. They're young.
Could they surprise? Yeah. I'm not disagreeing from that perspective. Yes. Could they beat the Mavericks? Yes.
Right.
Are they going to? That's another story.
All right. Lastly, Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Suns, came out the other day and basically said, we're fine. I mean, what do you say? We got 26 out of 29 GMs would give up their roster for ours.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Frank Vogel did good things. I did good things. Yeah. We haven't had a conversation yet about players or coaches. And it's like I was in Phoenix this week listening to sports talk radio there, and they were all losing their minds. Yeah. Everybody's losing their minds. And then the owner comes out, it's like, there's nothing to see here. We're fine. Yeah. We're fine. No, you just got swept out of the playoffs, and you have Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker on your team. You should not look. You can lose a series. You should not be ever getting swept in those series.
No way at all. I picked the Suns to win that series, and
they lost
right. If you remember, like, there's been a lot of different changes and different things going on in that organization. Of course, the owner's supposed to come out and say that his team is fine, but it comes down to one of those things. If he gets in that, which he's gonna be in the hot seat, something's gonna happen, and he's trying to downplay it. I wouldn't be surprised if the coach got fired, and if KD wants to leave. I've even heard Booker wants to go.
Dude, one of those guys is your only option to trade KD and get a haul of players because you got no one who plays defense. You don't, right?
The only way Kevin Durant leaves is if he wants to.
That's
if
fair.
Anybody leaves, it's gonna be Bradley Beal.
But he's got a no trade clause.
Oh, Bradley Beal does?
Yeah.
Oh wow. See, they're stuck.
So they can't move him. they can't move their draft picks because they owe pick swaps. So they can't move their picks, and they have picks every other year. They've won this year in the even number of years. They're in cap hell. The only thing they can do is move Booker or Durant for a bunch of pieces.
It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, it is. All right.
It always comes down to if the player wants to go there, and we shall see here pretty soon.
All right, man. Good to see you. You got this.
Always, man. I appreciate you. Hey, everybody out there. I got an appearance up at Albertsons today from 4 to 6. It's
gonna be hard to make a
12 to. I'm not. It's 12201 Academy Road up there off of Academy and Tramway. It's the Albertsons up there in that area from 4 to 6.
All right.
Yeah.
Enjoy the weekend. We'll catch up with you next Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
He is Kenny Thomas. You know him from a lot of things because he's in the wine business, and I know you drink his grape. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. No grape today, or at least not yet. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM. And AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Meyer here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Make sure that you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burkia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay. Thank you.
felt good. I needed that. I kind of feel like I didn't hoe last Friday. Was it last Friday? No, 2 Fridays. All right, let's go. 505-246-0610. Cell phones. That's our text line, our phone line here at the Sports Animal. It says Minnesota's playing the best defense out of all the teams I've seen. I think they're going to win it all because of that. That's on our text line. You'd agree with that? They are playing some defense.
Well, they had the number 1 rated defense in the NBA.
And in the regular season, and I think they've continued that through the playoffs as well. I mean, they were good against Phoenix. They frustrated Phoenix. Yeah. With all those guns that Phoenix had, yes. Did you see the Pat Beverly incident yet last night where he threw the ball at a fan?
A clown.
He's vowing to be better.
But he's not.
No, he won't.
That's his stick. You look at what he did last night.
Yeah, and go ahead.
It happened twice, by the way, at the end of the game. He threw a basketball at Pacer fans that were behind the Bucks bench, and then he kind of put his hand up, like throw it back, and so the fan was like, "I don't know what to do with this." She just threw a basketball at me, and so the fan tossed it back to him,
literally,
just like an innocent, here's the ball back, and then he fired it even harder back at the fan. Like, are you kidding me? And then post game, he was doing a media scrum.
This is unbelievable.
And a ESPN radio reporter came over, and he's like, "Are you subscribed to my podcast?" No? Then leave the circle.
Yeah, you need to subscribe to my
and
podcast
the fact
to talk.
That the rest of those dudes just still stood there and talked to that man.
And by the way,
outrageous.
That guy, why? What does he have to say?
Like, so double basketball launching Pat Bev at the fans. Straight up saying, you can't interview me post game if you're not subscribed to my podcast. I'd immediately just walk away from that dude in the locker room.
Yeah, it was a producer for ESPN. Her name is Melinda Adams. That was who he basically said, if you're not subscribed to my podcast, you can't talk to. And she posted on her ex, evidently Pat Beverly apologized to her. She said, "I want to thank everyone for their kind words and support. I am humbled. Patrick Beverly just called me and apologized. I appreciate it and accept it. The Bucks also reached out to apologize. I've been in news for over 40 years, and kindness and grace always wins." That was Melinda Adams, who you never heard of until today. In fact, right now on X, she's the producer that was trying to get some sound for ESPN.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, Beverly went on X and says, "I have to be better, and I will." Because last night he was on X and said, "Not fair at all. Exchange between a fan and our ball club all night. We warned and asked for help all night. Not fair." Look, you are who you are. At some point, Draymond Green is who Draymond Green is, right?
So I'm going to throw the basketball not once, but twice.
Well, but this is a.
And if it was something that crossed the line, I think more of the Bucks.
What would cross the line?
You know, if there was
something that was said.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, you know, there's everyone has magic words, right?
That's right.
I think the rest of the Bucks bench would have reacted, and no one did. It was only Pat Bev.
Yeah.
That was the launch into basketball because dudes were probably on him, telling him, "Have fun, get out of town, keep crying,
enjoy the off season, go to the golf course."
None of the other Milwaukee Bucks reacted in any way that someone said a magic word that you go, "All right, man, like now you need to own this." Nope, it was just Pat Bev that decided to not once but twice launch a basketball at fans that were maybe 10 feet away.
By the way, Patrick Beverly's stat line, 40 minutes last night. He played more minutes than anybody for the Bucks last night. Scored 6 points, had 5 assists and 2 rebounds, shot 3 for 11 from the field, 0 for 3 from three-point. How does Pat Bev keep getting gigs and end up in really good spots? And look,
because
this was a good spot if they were
plays
healthy.
his role. He's not expensive. He will play defense. He's got an edge to him, which teams appreciate.
Okay.
Until this happens.
And this happens a lot, right? God, he's he's only making just over $2 million this year. All right. But you are who you are at some point. Don't stop with that. I got to be better and I will. No, you won't, dude. And we're good with that. Like, that's who you are. Draymond is who Draymond is, right?
Well, it's one thing when you look at Draymond Green, it's with other players. And if Pat Bev was doing his thing, it was just
That's
what was
fair.
it, a year or two ago where
Yep.
when they won, who was Pat Bev playing for at the time? And I think they actually like won a playing game or something, and he was standing on the table ripping off his jersey. Like it's his former team, and you're like, okay, Pat, that's cool. But this is absolutely like just crosses the line. With Draymond, like you have players that are dealing with it. Like player to player, you can do something. That fan can't do anything. Hopefully, he gets some money out of it. Whoever
Look,
got hit,
I'm going to
but
guess the fan isn't totally innocent. Probably was saying some
who
joke.
cares?
But
Unless it is
you're right.
a racial attack.
I agree.
Or something that
Something across the line, man. And
which
to
you
your
know
point-
because everyone would have reacted. Pat Bev was the only one that
And he
reacted.
said that they asked for help and tried to get security over, and security didn't come over. And whatever, man. You are who you are, and the whole "I'm going to be better" thing, it just falls on deaf ears. No, you're not, dude. And I don't know why you feel like you have to say you are. That's who you are. You've made your image out of that. You've made your living out of that.
Like, are fans innocent in all this? No, with what they say, no, because I think fans have a false sense of security because they think they can do whatever they want in games. But I think there is a difference of if those fans that were just sitting there were giving Pat Bev and the Bucks a hard time, and if something would have crossed the line, something would have been done with it. We've seen it so many times. Like they remove fans. The coaching staff was right there. The rest of the bench was right there. If it was something that was ongoing, that was obvious that these people need to be gone, they would have been.
What will the fine be? What do you think he gets?
As big as you can do. Like, missing some games.
Yeah. Well, he's a free agent. We'll see where I'll be next year. All right, 505-246-0610. Gopher says, I needed that hoe. It's been a long, rough week. Man, it's been a bunch of stuff this week. I've been on the road so much, dude. Like
dude, and by the way, I was just looking back at this Pat Bev thing.
Yeah.
Like the fan that he hit.
Yeah.
This woman wasn't even looking
It was a woman?
at Pat Bev. Yeah, it was a woman at first. Like it was just two Pacer fans. They were standing up clapping, and he tosses the ball, hits the woman in the side of the face first, and then a gentleman picks up the basketball because it bounces into his hands.
Oh, I just saw it. Yeah, dude, it hit her right in the side of the head. Which she wasn't even looking.
She wasn't even talking to Pat Bev.
No, she was looking away. Dude was walking off the floor. She was looking the other way. I don't even know how the ball ended up there. She's looking the other way, not even talking. And so then somebody else grabs the ball and throws it back to him, and he fires it at the dude who gave it back to him.
What is that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm just kind of looking at it now. Like, what are you doing, dude? All right, 505-246-0610. Wrapping up everything you need to know as you go into your weekend. Derby's tomorrow. What you got? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Hour.
This is Boomer Science with.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican.
Doesn't have a lot of good basketball takes.
Didn't AD play like 73 games this year?
AD played the most games he's played in forever, as did LeBron.
Yeah, I don't
know.
It
was more the role pieces, which you need to win basketball games. They lost a lot of those guys throughout the regular season.
I mean, I like me some Magic Johnson. I just don't know. He might be the worst Twitter follower. One of them, anyway, huh? Okay. He's fun. What you got to know as you go through your weekend, let's get started because the Knicks were winners last night. They finished off the 76ers. Final score yesterday was 118-115. Jalen Brunson had 41. Knicks advanced. They win 4-2. They'll play the Pacers, who also won last night, eliminating the Bucks 120-98. 4-2 was that series. T.J. McConnell came off the bench for 20 points and 9 assists for Indiana. Obi Toppin, 21-8 off the bench for Indiana. And it'll be Pacers and Bucks in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Patrick Beverley's going to probably face some fines from the NBA through a basketball at twice at Pacers fans last night. He plays for the Bucks, or at least did. Now he's going to be a free agent. We got baseball at the ballpark this weekend, Cinco de Mayo. It'll be a big day with Al Hurricane concert and night game on Sunday. Topes came back and won last night. They scored a walk-off yesterday afternoon to beat the Round Rock Express. United on the road this weekend. They'll be in Las Vegas to take on the Las Vegas Lights. And what else I got going on this weekend? I'm checking my stuff. Oh, Richard Pitino spoke about the guys that stayed, not the guys who left, and said they need to be praised and shout out to those guys for not jumping in the portal, which I thought was good. What do you got this weekend? Looking forward to Minnesota and Denver tomorrow, aren't you?
Playoffs. Yep, watching a lot of be all in on that tomorrow. I do want to give you my 3 for the Derby.
Yeah, what do you got?
Got Twisted Garden Hose.
Oh, yeah, Twisted.
Not So Jolly Rancher.
What are you talking about?
And Get Off My Rocks.
What are you talking about? Twisted Garden Hose.
Those aren't horse names?
They could be, but they're just
I
not
think
horse.
Those are fantastic.
In fact, they're horse names. They're just not horses.
Oh, they're not in Derby? Okay.
Yeah, they Twisted Garden Hose was what? Not
So Jolly Rancher.
That's cute. Yeah. And Get Off My Rocks. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, those are horse names. They're just not horses.
Said it with confidence.
Who are in the Derby. Yeah. Is it all right that I called BS on it right away? TO passwords.
Someone would have been like, I'm taking Not So Jolly Rancher for sure now.
Yeah, no, they just said candy corn's stupid.
Well, that one
candy corn's nasty? Is that better? I don't like calling things stupid. Candy corn's nasty? Yeah. I think, or a handful of candy corn.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I was in an office the other day, and we're going to lunch. The guy says, here, you want some candy? You know what wasn't in the candy jar? Candy corn. You know what was? Jolly Rancher.
Cough drops?
And there were no watermelons left because they were all gone. Everybody loves them. Stronghold, 35-1. What's the best name in the field? Grand Mo the First is good. Track Phantom, whatever TO password means, I like it. Catching Freedom, Mystic Dan, Sierra Leone, Doorknock, Cadillac, Just Steel. Horse names are great. You'll watch it. You'll find time in the afternoon. You'll flip over and you watch the fastest 2 minutes of sports. You'll be done. Got a little breaking news this morning. Odell Beckham signed. Odell Beckham Jr. 1-year deal worth up to $8.25 million with the Ravens. I'm sorry, with the Dolphins, former Ravens. With the Dolphins. It's interesting to me. They got Waddle, they got the Cheetah, and now they got Odell Beckham. So he can be like the 3 there. He's a good number 3 receiver, right?
Odell Beckham Jr. will not catch more than 15 passes.
5 passes?
They don't run more than 2 routes. It's Hill and Waddle.
I'll take that over right now.
This is great. OBJ's at the end, and he gets $8 million to hang out in Miami.
And be the number 3. I want to see how the deal's structured. It says up to $8.25 million. You don't think he'll catch 15 passes? All right. I got to go over that, don't I? I mean, I guess not. If that's the number.
Well, it's a low number.
Huh. All right. Yeah, that just came down. So that's your breaking news that literally just happened this morning. Also this morning, not that this matters, but it kind of does. Chase Claypool, receiver, 1-year deal with the Bills.
Do you know? So the wide receiver wise,
yeah,
the 3rd leading wide receiver caught how many passes for the Miami Dolphins last year?
12.
Okay, it was 27.
I had to go under because you said the number. Who was the number 3 guy?
Braxton Berrios.
Well, there you go. So what were the numbers for Waddle and Tyreek Hill?
The Tyreek Hill had 119 catches.
Yeah.
Waddle had 72.
And then the next guy had 26.
And Berrios had 27.
27. Well, then you got to. I'm going over 15.
15 might have been a little low.
Yeah. All right, over under 26.5.
Under.
All season? I got to go over. I mean, you got to go over. But you and I will be good on that. All right, and then the other football thing. No charges for Dak Prescott for that 2017 assault, where a woman said that he assaulted her in the back of an SUV in a strip club parking lot. Dallas police will not pursue sexual assault charges against Jack Metzger. All right, thanks to Kenny Thomas and to Nick Nee. Both of them were with us today here on the opening drive. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. Missed them both. 2 Men On at 4. We're back with award-winning radio on Monday, starting at 7 a.m. Adrian, great week. Big weekend for you?
Huge.
Enjoy it. Have a great, safe weekend, boys and girls. Be good to each other. Please be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will smell you Monday.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunity.